think we're good. Hello. Are we good?
Hello. I don't know. It hasn't told me we're live yet. Oh, there we go.
Now we're live.
Okay. Hi, guys.
Yep.
We here.
How we doing? How's everybody? Everybody lived through an earthquake?
Yeah, for those not local.
Yeah, we had decided to have an earthquake an hour ago. It was fun. Not really. I seriously thought this wall behind me, it was
wobbling.
Well, I thought it was vertigo at first. I'm like, oh,
I
had
thought
vertigo for a while.
That the country road I was driving on was just a little bumpier than normal. And because it's been windy and freezing all day,
right, I
assumed it was primarily the wind.
Hi, Bonnie. And
then my husband calls me and says, earthquake? And I'm like, where? And he says to me, here? And I'm playing the dumb blonde, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the whole neighborhood is out in the front yard, being like, what just happened? And I'm driving down the street.
You know how it's supposed to be, like, socially, like, distancing?
Isolating?
We're like, stay in your house.
Hey, Susie.
And then we're going to have an earthquake, so everybody comes out of their house to talk to their neighbors. And it's like, no, get back in your house.
Hey, everyone did it, like, from their front yard.
That's
like,
good.
So not
I was
crossing.
I was just here. I was like, did somebody hit the car wash? I was like, no, it's still going. It's still going.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Anyway, really. I just ironed away some nice little friction pen.
Right, I drew lines all over it to quilt it. And I made, you can iron that in half too and make it into binding. Okay. So long as you're standing there.
Misty bottle. Okay, so tonight we are going to, I got all sorts of fun new things to show you.
So much fun.
And a really fun project for Thursday. So stay tuned so you can see what it is, because it's going to be super awesome.
We're going to have fun. It's going to be great.
But today we are going to make this adorable quilted Easter basket. This has the rivets in it, and so the handle can move.
It also helps the handles stay put really nicely. So, you know, that's a lot of layers to sew through and have it look nice. So rivets are awesome. I want to show you, I used these, they're just Dritz double cap rivets.
She got them on Amazon.
We have a few in the store, but I just ordered mine from Amazon Prime because
it was faster than getting it from a wholesale supplier.
Yeah, it's easier than getting from a wholesale supplier. The other thing I had to order, and I don't remember where the packaging went for this, but this is the little tool set for putting the rivets in. The double cap rivet tools. So if you're going to make several of these, or even some of the other bags, this is a nice little guy to have. The pattern guy delivered them to my doorstep today, so that was
absolutely
awesome.
Necessary. You could sew down these handles like you sew down
bag
handles.
And honestly, you can use a hammer to put the rivets in. They just get a little dented.
So,
so not necessary, but
fun feature.
Fun feature. Nice thing to have. Alright, so I went ahead and jumped a little bit ahead on this project. Oh, if you want the pattern, it's in the link for the video. Yeah. So if you look at the notes for this video, you'll see the link.
The description, the pattern is there.
This pattern is by Minki Kim. She's the same gal who designed the Cutie Cube pattern. This is a free tutorial on her blog, or her website. So it's a free pattern, which is super fun. You can totally make it with stuff you have sitting around.
We'll show you some other fun products.
We'll show you some other stuff you can use.
It can probably be done with what you got sitting at home.
But see, in the Gingham Farmhouse collection from Poppy Cotton, there happen to be 4 different colors of gingham bunnies. There's lavender, there's the pink, there's the yellow, and then there's also a navy blue. And well, I have 4 children.
It worked out for you.
So I'm making 4. This is number 2.
She'll make 3 and 4 tomorrow.
Right, I'll make the other ones later.
Hey, Robin.
So that's what we're doing. I went ahead and got a little bit ahead, and that's simply in the interest of time. You guys don't want to sit and watch me quilt.
No, you
all
don't.
Night.
She is going to quilt the bottom, so she'll show you how she does that.
Right.
But I'm
not going to do all of it. So I did already pre-cut. If you look at the pattern, what it's going to have you go through, you're going to need your lining material. She says you need half a yard of it. Really, you could get away with a 1/4 yard because your biggest piece is a 9-inch square. Same with the outside material. A 1/4 yard will do it. So I cut my 9-inch square and then a strip that was like 8 inches by 26 inches. And then for my outside of my basket. I chose this one, and you'll notice this piece is smaller than the lining piece. It's just because when you're sandwiching and quilting, it's nice to have the top be a little bit smaller than the back.
Yeah. This is going to get trimmed up.
Oh, it's totally going to get trimmed.
So don't freak out if it all doesn't lay together.
It's not done yet. I'm going to cut like 1/4 to 1/2 inch off all the way around. So it's not done yet. This is the bottom. So this is the outside fabric for the bottom of my basket. This is the lining for the bottom of my basket. See? Oh, you know what I didn't cut
the binding for that.
I didn't cut the binding for that.
What do you need?
My extras are right over there.
I'm going to go get it for her.
Okay, I need like a 2-inch strip. Okay, other things you're going to need. This is going to be my binding for the rim of the basket right here. Just a standard width of binding, like 2 1/4, 2.5 inches. The one thing you are definitely going to want to print off on her pattern, she has one page that's your 7.5 inch circle for the bottom of the basket. If you have an acrylic template or something.
2 inches or 2.5?
2. That's, you know, solid and easier to cut around, great. I will just pin this on and use my scissors and cut around it. But she does have a template for this that you can download and print. Last materials you need. This is my webbing, my strapping to make the handle, obviously. And this is going to be my fabric to cover the handle. If you look at her tutorial, she does a scrappy handle, which is super cute. I don't have that many scraps of this, so I just chose a fabric. And plus there's a gingham for each of the gingham bunnies. So like the blue one has a navy and white gingham, and the lavender has a lavender and white gingham, pink and white gingham, yellow and white gingham, if you see a theme. Sorry, sometimes I get my mind somewhere and then it can't get out of there. The last thing I used, you'll need some kind of a batting, something to be inside here. You can use the Soft and Stable by Annie. That's a good option. And you can use just regular batting. It won't be quite as stiff and might not hold up really well. I had Sarita order in a whole bolt of this stuff. It's the Bozal, the NR Form fusible. So it's fusible on both sides.
Both sides. So the sticky is already there. There's no paper to take off.
No. So I just put my fabric on and ironed it on both sides. This has not been sewn on at all. So it does have a really nice fuse to it. I just quilted this whole thing like in the last 20 minutes. And my needle's not gummy. It wasn't hard to sew through. So I really like this fusible.
It saves you having to buy the Steam-A-Seam or the Heat and Bond or whatever fusible.
Or the 505 spray or any of that kind of stuff.
To go with it. It's all in one.
And
you need a 1/4 yard.
To do one of these baskets, you need a 1/4 yard. And it's the Bozal fusible, or NR Form, N-R-form. Okay, all right.
Let's start.
You know what's funny? My pattern's on my phone, which is how we're filming this. That's awesome. Okay, well, we are gonna do it from memory. This is gonna be great. Okay.
On top of things, you guys.
Oh man, you guys, it's been a day. This homeschooling thing is fun. We did OT via webcam today. We had a couple teacher meetings via webcam or phone. It's been a day, guys. People aren't meant to do all this.
Let's quilt the bottom.
Okay, so I'm just gonna quilt the bottom here. I don't like to pick it up and move each direction.
Drew her quilting lines on
did
with a Fix-On pen. Now, this A doesn't have to be quilted.
No.
If you're using fusible, you can skip this step if you'd like to.
B, you could just do straight lines with the edge of your foot.
However you want. She is doing the cross hatching, and she drew the lines on with a ruler ahead of time.
Okay, I'm going to show you real quick how I drew the lines though, because it's easy. Because I wanted this nice 45-degree angle. See, my ruler has this nice 45-degree line. So I just lined it up on the edge and drew the line. And then an inch apart. And then I used my 1-inch line and did all the way from there. So it was really easy to draw that kind of cross-hatching.
Hey, Christy.
And now I really should be able to quilt all of it, actually, without even really touching my needle. It's kind of fun.
So, while she quilts that, you can watch her do it. She's got her walking foot on. If you don't have a walking foot, you're probably fine.
Okay, but I did that yellow one at home without my walking foot, because it was here.
She forgot it.
And it was fine.
Hey, Tammy. So, also, when you're going to quilt like this, lengthen your stitch.
Right. This
Don't
is not my piecing stitch.
It can be a whole lot longer. Lengthen your stitch, okay?
Right.
And then she's just going to pick up and turn around and go the next direction.
Right.
So while she's doing that, we had some fun deliveries yesterday of some great quick projects.
We love quick projects.
That give you the feeling of completing something, which is awesome these days because it's hard. Anyway, so I'm going to show you what a couple of those are. The first one is an awesome panel from QT. And then we've got the fabric to make this great Americana themed quilt. It's not huge. It's 42 by 50, so it's a good giant wall hanging size. This is a great panel. I'm going to show you the actual panel because that's just for it printed on a piece of paper. And that's not very exciting.
Right.
I know it looks better in person. So this is our new panel. Well, one of them. And we've got a fun free project for it. And it's called Old Glory. The line is called All American. And that's as tall as I get. So,
you won't go for this?
Check it out. No, I don't. I'm telling you, my quilt holder is at home.
Do you have a pattern for me? Sarita saves the day. I get to have a pattern.
So, this is one fun new item in the shop. Since you can't come in and see them, I have to figure out some to you. Because it's really fun to watch Jen quilt.
Come on! I'm a hoot! Oh, except when I break my thread.
Yeah. Other fun project. Speaking of bags.
We love bags.
This fun panel is everything you need outside of some fusible fleece to make,
and a zipper.
And zippers. To make 2 bags.
2 messenger bags.
2 little shoulder bags. Great for travel. Great for teenagers or tweenagers in my life.
Right, the tweens.
But another fun project. All on the panel. Everything you need except for a little bit of fusible fleece and a couple zippers. So this is called the runaround bag.
That makes sense. It's for running around.
And that's fun prints. I think it's cute. And then last one. What else do we have? Sorry. I don't mean to spend the whole time promoting, but it's more fun than...
Come on.
Okay.
I'm quick. I'm over half done.
This is called the, what's it called? The Molly Maker bag. It's another bag panel. Everything you need on it. Pre-printed and everything. And I'm trying to remember what it said I needed on this one. Interfacing is all you need for this. And you got, it's really cute. Fun print. Purple and blue. Everybody seems to love purple. So, and we don't use it enough in quilting, or so I'm told, regularly. So, fun projects if you're looking for a quick project. These,
sometimes we need a quick project in between our big projects.
These over-the-shoulder bags, the runaround bags, would be a great project with kids, like like my 8-9-year-old girl.
She could totally handle that.
She could probably totally do that with my.
And honestly, it's a really easy zipper because it's put in while it's flat. Yes. So this is a great chance to do a zipper without being afraid of a zipper.
Yes. So anyway, a couple fun projects, things to think about while you're stuck at home. Bonnie, you're awesome. Thanks for running me. Okay.
All right. Almost done. I got like 2 more seams.
She's almost done, and then we'll move on. I will get a drink for Barney.
What?
I know. So, anyone finish anything the last couple days?
Bonnie posted her.
Yes, you did your paper piecing.
Your paper piecing.
So pretty. I'm wondering. Should go in your living room with those pretty new curtains you made.
Right? Oh, that one too. I'm just looking to see what lines I haven't gotten yet. Those moss.
Oh, I think you're gonna cut that one off, so I don't know why you need to do it.
Because it gets me there.
Hey, Trisha.
This is my last one.
I'm gonna iron it, and if you don't know how Frixion pens work, that's the only reason I'm gonna iron it. It doesn't actually need.
No, this doesn't actually need pressed, but I'm gonna have her press it because I've got these nice purple cross-hatched lines, which are so fun to see. I know there's from the start. It's really irritating, huh?
Okay. So she's got her nice quilting lines drawn on it. I'm going to make them magically disappear. Wow, Chris, way to go!
What
you finished your placemats.
Yay! I want to see them.
I know.
She did the tulip placemats. What did Christy do?
Ooh,
pumpkins.
Which is out. How fun.
There's a lot of pumpkins on that one, but it's so cute.
Guess what? I finished binding today. My Halloween fig sampler got done binding today. I'm kind of excited to finally have that done. Okay.
Oh, that's there we go. Fun. Got to the blog post, but not to the,
Okay. You guys, and just like that, there are no purple lines.
No lines! It's
at all.
Awesome!
Left on this thing. It's pretty great.
Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to turn this into a circle. You know, it's a square you can see through to, got on my case because my selvage is on there still, because I'm always like, take your selvage off. Well, it's because I'm going to trim that away. So that's why I didn't obsess about it. I did.
Look at that.
I
gotta check on her. I don't know what else she forgot.
It happens. I do forget crap.
It's a legitimate question.
It is a legitimate question.
So yeah, so you pin the pattern top on. Don't eyeball this.
No, you really want it to match.
It's like, it takes me back to the apparel making days.
Right, I haven't made a dress or like pajamas
pin the pattern down.
But I am going to pin the pattern down. I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. You like how I changed it to a blue mat instead of a pink one, since I'm using pink fabric?
Yeah, I was wondering what was different and why there was a pink mat on the floor over there.
Yeah, it's because I realized I had all pink fabric, and if I did this on a pink mat, nobody would be able to see what I'm doing.
This is true.
So, I was thinking.
Do I need to press this in half?
Yes. And a quarter, and then do like 1.5 folds. Like, you know, instead of a double fold bias, do a 1.5.
I got it.
She knows what I'm saying.
It's a good thing.
Sorry, I have to like make noise.
It's awkward to be silent.
It is awkward to be silent.
So, how many of you had your first earthquake today?
Right. Whose was?
Was it your first?
It was not my first. It was my biggest, but not my first. Like I said, I was pretty sure I was having an episode of vertigo. Haven't had one in a while.
I seriously had no idea.
She's just like, wow, the wind's crazy.
Jeez, what's going on? Well, I thought my car was being weird.
Chris is going to send us pictures. Yeah. Well, phew, it wasn't your car. It was just the world.
Yeah, it wasn't my car.
Just the world falling apart. Don't worry about it.
I feel better.
Honestly, what is it? You have to laugh or cry.
Yeah, at this point, it's...
And, what was that quote? You can either laugh or cry, and crying gives me a headache. So, good old Marjorie Hinckley. Crying gives me a headache. So, I'm just going to laugh about it, and what will come will come.
Totally surprising.
How cute is this?
Quilting. Yeah.
No, seriously, I had a quilt on the long arm, and I sent a picture to the gal whose quilt I was quilting. I was like, I can take this out and fix it, but do you want a little earthquake souvenir? Because, like, it went dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. I thought there was a problem with my machine, and then I'm like, no, wait, that was an earthquake.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with my machine. It's fine. Alright, so I trimmed this down. So it's a 7.5 inch circle. Doesn't really matter. Yep, perfect. And then I went to the whole picture. I don't want the picture. Alright. And I'm sorry.
It's hot.
It is hot.
Okay,
what size do I trim that one? 23 3/4 to 6 1/4.
5 6 1/4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim my big tube right here. Well, it will be a tube in a minute when I'm done.
So, yeah. Anyway. There's plenty of room.
It's plenty, because this is supposed to be 6 1/4 inches tall. This is a 6-inch ruler. So, I mean, I've got over an inch that I can cut off here. So.
Which is great. If you watched us the other day, squaring up space is our favorite thing.
Right.
So, it's a good thing. Speaking of, the half square triangle cheat sheet is finally available.
It's on the website.
On our website under resources, right?
Yes. There's another spot under resources that says tips and tricks.
It's in there. So if you were waiting for that half square triangle cheat sheet, it's there. Placemat pattern is still in the works.
Sorry. I keep trying. It just, you know.
So much to do.
Life, man.
Yeah.
If it would just stop, life would be
Don't let life stop. Then you're dead.
Right, that's true. Okay, I won't die, but man, I could use a breather.
Yeah. You and everybody else. Oh, there you go. Bonnie posted a link. Now y'all have it.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, I'm going to turn this over and use some best brush to get it nice and close, nice and shored up. Is that?
Yeah, sure. Short up. Sounds good. All right. And then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little tube here. I'm just going to sew it together. Now, I do need a little piece of my lining binding, which is right there.
No, it's your scrap.
I know, but it's going to work for this.
Oh.
But
you told me it wasn't necessary.
I did. I lied. Lied.
You guys, seriously, she's a lot of work.
So what you're going to do here is, this is my lining facing out, because now we're considering the outside of the bag the right side and the lining side the wrong side.
So when you sew something, you sew it right sides together.
Right sides together. Now I'm going to put my little tiny piece of binding. This is actually going to cover my seam so that it looks all nice and finished when we're done. On top of that,
so some bags leave the raw edges open, which is fine. Some bags don't. This one, because it's kind of a cute open basket,
we're
really
definitely
is nice to cover the
finish the seams. And you'll see this is a really easy way to finish the seam. I'm using binding clips to put it together because putting a pin through it
is going to distort it.
Going to do, well, first of all, it's a pain, but it kind of messes things up a little bit. Now, if you're worried about the binding clips kind of slipping out and getting out of the way, something you can do is take a pin and put it in over here. And that pin will generally hold things in place and let the weaker binding clips kind of do the fancier stuff on the edge.
Oh, Christy, I don't know. I am the queen of too many projects, so can't really help you there.
What are we doing?
Just has so many projects going, but that spring block of the month is just adorable.
I know, right?
You didn't see the spring block of the month? It starts April 1st, and it really is just
oh my gosh, it's so cute.
And the fabrics are adorable, and the blocks are adorable. And right now, I just want Happy Spring Adorable. Have decided that all of this cold and rain means like the second half of April is going to be gorgeous.
Right?
Like the grass is going to be green,
it's gonna
the
be
trees
beautiful.
are going to be green, and it's going to be fantastic.
It's got to be, right?
But today it's ugly and cold and dreary outside.
Right.
But that
it's
means
kind of ugly.
It can't have flowers if there's not rain.
Right?
So,
right? We all know our lawns are going to be greener because of this.
Try and be grateful for that today.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and take this extra binding here, fold it over that.
It's a little skimpy.
It's supposed to be. And then I'm going to fold it flat like this so that it's all down. Now, this is another place you can use a pin or two, or you can just move nice and slowly and hold it into place. But this will give us a really nice finished.
So she's folding it over the raw edge.
Uh-huh.
And then folding that edge down flat up against the body
and that's
of the bag.
why this binding was so thin. If I had used a 2.5-inch strip there, that's a lot for me to fold under right there. So then I'm just gonna feed this gently into my machine. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of folding here because it's just the nature of what it is. I don't have a really open throat here. And I'm just gonna top stitch this down.
So same thing on bags. You can have your stitch length a little longer.
Right.
This is not piecing, quilting.
Right.
You don't have to have that super short stitch length. In fact, I get hung up sometimes if I keep my stitch too short.
Right.
On these. So
go ahead and be a little longer.
A little bit.
Don't make it a 4.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying make it
that's
huge.
A basting stitch.
No basting stitches, but let's make so it actually moves through, shall we?
Right.
Okay. Now she gets to do the really fun part. Where
what do you call the fun part?
Attaches the bottom to the bag.
And this looks so much scarier than it is.
If you look on the tutorial, there's a whole bunch of little binding clips and binding.
Yep.
And it kind of...
It's not
this
so
is
scary.
Easier than the cutie cube. Though, so
actually, the curve is a lot easier than the square.
So this is good practice if that cutie cube's been intimidating.
A good way to know how to place this without just setting it on and hoping you're right would be... Let me get that out of the way. I do want to pin them to mark things. I'll fold this in half. And I'm going to mark these edges on the side. That way I know that these two are exactly 180 degrees. They're totally opposite from each other. Right? And then I'm going to go do the same thing the other direction. I'm going to match these up over here. And Liz is doing the same thing on my bag. And
on
then
the body.
On the body of the bag. And what that's going to let me do is I'm going to go ahead and be able to match those 4 spots, just right, so that I will have an even amount that I'm working in through that curve.
And then you ease everything else in.
Everything else is eased. Thank you very much. Again, right sides together. So the bunny is the right side. Hold on. Just making sure my bunnies are prancing the right direction.
Yeah.
It would be unfortunate if they were totally upside down.
They were all upside down.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it would happen.
It would. And life would go on. 1. Now, I don't like to just use binding clips for this because
they can pop
off really easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor my 4 corners, edges, locations on the bag. I'm going to mark, kind of anchor those with a pin. Not pushed all the way down in, not in super deep, but just so they're not going to flip off and go everywhere. And then for the rest of it, I'm just going to use binding clips.
Go ahead and use binding clips. Yep.
Yep. You like how I got my pink binding clips for this?
Yeah.
Because red would have clashed.
You guys, this is really how she is.
It is totally how I am. It just is how it is. The seam allowance for this bag is supposed to be 1/4 inch, which is what I'm doing, basically. I do, however, have my walking foot on still, because as I'm dealing with this bulk here, there's absolutely no reason to get rid of it.
So it'll probably end up being a generous 1/4 inch.
I'm gonna try and stay to the inside of it just a little bit.
And that's okay.
But it's gonna be just fine that it's not totally perfect. Just fine.
Like, what did I do? I was only seeing the folded on the outside.
Oh, you did it right. That's for the binding for the bottom.
Yes, which she will do here.
Which I will do here in a little bit.
I was gonna prep your handle.
I'm doing this right. I'm not doing this right, you guys.
What did you do?
The binding goes on the outside.
I know. Did you do it all at the same time?
No.
She had it there, though.
I know, but the binding goes out. I'm supposed to turn this right side out.
She fails.
Oh, man alive. You guys love me, right? Even when I'm an idiot? Yeah? Yeah? Oh, man. Sorry about that. Okay. Now my bunnies are upside down.
That's the binding for the top.
Right? Okay, I can still see my pinholes. Sweet. I'll be fast, I promise. Anyway, it's always fun to make mistakes, right, guys? Right?
Yep.
Right? We're human.
Yeah. Just means she's a person.
Right. You gonna show them how to do the strapping? The strapping's fun. I love that I can still see my pinholes since I don't have to measure all this. So really what you're doing with the strapping is you just want to totally cover the webbing. So you can fold it over like that. There are all kinds of ways that that can be done.
I'm gonna
The best would be to do some pressing.
Yeah, don't feel bad, Chris.
What? Is she laughing at me?
We's all people. We all make mistakes.
Right. It's okay. I have no problem being laughed at. It really actually doesn't bother me very much.
Yep. All good.
Oh well. But see, sometimes when we watch other people make the mistake, we remember and then we don't have to make it ourselves. So, you know, I'm here to help. I'll do it for you. Hey, at least I caught it before I sewed.
This is true.
It could have been. It could have been worse. It could have been like, well, never mind, guys. We'll see you Thursday.
Sorry. Just getting rid of the raw edge.
Well, that's the point. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way. So I am just going to. I'm gonna start where I have it pinned because that's not gonna run away from me.
Okay. So
and I'm just gonna gently ease my way around. A few stitches at a time, making sure it's flat underneath.
I like to, when I'm doing the strapping for the handle, I like to see about where it's going to be and press it, because then I can have it hold closed a little bit nicer.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris, don't look close at my cutie cube because it's a little lopsided too. The back's a little taller than the front, and but you know what? I made it.
And it's adorable.
Wouldn't even try and make a bag because it's not my strong suit. Do you mind if I cut the selvage off of this?
Oh, go for it. That was a longer piece than was necessary.
I noticed, but
mostly I cut an eighth of a yard and then cut that eighth of a yard in half. So I gave you a fat 16th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I pressed that further than I wanted to, but it'll work.
This is really not so bad as it seems, especially where I can put my hand in here to make sure it's nice and flat underneath. But you'll notice I'm sewing like 1.5 inches at a time, if that.
I forgot to fold the ends in. And then
you can do it like that. You can also have them folded over completely, like this, to where, like, one end goes over and the other one goes all the way to the edge, like that.
Oh, okay. Let's
and
do
then
it that
fold
way.
in the
I
edge.
like that better.
There are all kinds of ways to do that. The strapping. Honestly, you just want to cover the strap because it's cute.
It's okay, Sally.
So
We're still going.
So if you wanted to leave the strap plain, you could.
Jen's still assembling the bottom of a bag.
Drop that.
And I'm dropping a knife.
I hurt myself when I dropped a knife.
Yeah, well, it's because it's generally considered not a good idea.
Right.
Oh, there we go. Just like that. That's how I want this.
Yes. See, isn't that nice? Then use your binding clips again. So many good uses for binding clips. Except they're pretty high on my list of, like, must-have notions. All right. We're sewn on.
Show the bag on, okay, guys? It looks not perfect, so don't be stressed if yours looks...
I'm not done yet.
Not perfect.
This is almost like a basting stitch, putting it on the first time. Not that I lengthened it.
The binding
because I'm going to put the binding on next. Now with the binding, you really do want to attach it. This time I'm gonna go like this, because then when I go to finish the binding, my wonderfully nice machine edge will be on the outside and my hand stitching will be on the underside of my bag. I did it the opposite way on this one and I didn't really love it. So I'm going to switch it around this time, just for kicks. Because I can.
Sally, they're all just going to show up on our Facebook feed.
Actually, all the videos, my husband's working on uploading them to YouTube.
And they will be on YouTube
by the weekend.
Tyson gets that done.
So that should help for people who want to reference them again.
But yeah, once we get done here, we have the option of saving it to Facebook, and then that should be...
Yeah, but then I have to upload it from my phone to...
yeah, Bonnie, pins are like bobby pins. I've bought more than I know. Yeah. They just disappear.
Right. I've only bought 45,000 bobby pins in my life, and I currently own about 7.
Exactly.
Pins are often the same way. Alright,
but so they also get dull and stuff eventually.
Or they break. I mean, I don't know how often I'll find a bent pin and I'll put it back 6 or 7 times, and then I'm like, no, and I put it in my broken needle case.
Like, why do I keep...
Alright, so I want to show you what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of smashing this down, just to get it out of the way, because again, when you're working with a curve like this, you're really only working with like an inch or 2 at a time. And that's it. You're really only working a little bit at a time. I like to leave my foot down and my needle down when I get up to mess with it, like I am right now, because that keeps those in place.
Keeps it work, yeah.
So I get the next inch and a half where I want it to be. And then I lift that up and move on to the next little bit. You know, and it's the same way with the cutie cube, with the binding on that. You work just a little bit at a time. If you try and do too much more, that's when you're going to run into problems and kind of hate life. So.
Okay, so you might have just watched me fight with this a little bit. Strapping.
Mm-hmm.
You want to cover it.
Right.
You don't really have to use strapping either. If you've got a heavy interfacing, you could make that work too. The strapping is just nice. It's pliable, but it's going to definitely be sturdy.
Right.
So I covered it. I've got the binding clips holding it closed. Jen's
I'm going to quilt it here in just a minute.
And with this, we'll just do straight lines back and forth and back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And get it shored up.
Right.
So yeah. You know what? I'm going to talk about Thursday.
You talk about Thursday.
This. Okay. So Thursday, I have a fun project for you.
It's for everybody.
It's for everyone. This one's legit for everybody. So Moda, a little bit ago, sent us as retailers, sent all of their retailers, due to this whole COVID-19 thing and everyone being stuck inside and, you know, trying to just keep people happy.
Stay sane.
Oh, wait, she's going to try and meet up her ends here and hide the...
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You just do a little fold over.
It's going to be great.
Meeting up binding.
Right, this is where I'm going to go like this.
So she's just... They can't see you.
Okay, so I'm just going to fold this down so that I have a nice finished edge on the outside there. Then I'm just going to let that overlap it. It's not as fancy as what I like to do on a quilt, but my gosh, I'm not doing what I do on a quilt.
But for this way you don't... You have that nice folded over edge on your binding.
Right.
Sorry.
That's all. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. So, but the pattern that Moda gave us to share with you is called Village. And it is a series of super scrappy little houses. So this is one of my scrappy little houses. I started on it today. I was using a Zuma Tula Pink charm pack that I've had in my collection for my travels. And so we are going to make cute little houses on Thursday. Some of them have a chimney on them. They're adorable.
Right.
But the fun of this project is, first of all, right now, like, seriously, it's all about community, right? Even though we're all separated, it's getting through this as a community effort. And it just takes everybody. And so I love the concept of quilting up a village during this time. Mine is going to be a mini. I'm not going to make the whole thing. I'm going to make a cute wall hanging because who doesn't need some cute tuliping houses on their wall at their house? Right, I do. Anyway, but right now the pattern is available on our website in our free patterns section. So look for that. And I'm going to go through the tutorial of making one with a chimney because that's the trickiest bit. On Thursday. And we came up with a fun JK Quilts community project, and I hope you guys will indulge me on this.
It's going to be fun, but only if everybody does it.
I want to make a JK Quilts community quilt. And what that means is I need a house from all of you. And so I want you to go into your scrap bin and make me a cute house, sign your name on the door or on the roof or somewhere, and send it to us.
Right, you can drop it off at the front door
it off,
if you're driving by.
Put it in, and then I want to put it all together and make a community quilt. Make something to commemorate the effort and the struggle that has been and will continue to be this spring, this year. So share that idea with your friends, please. Your friends that aren't here watching. We have a smaller group tonight, and I'm going to talk about it some more on Thursday when we talk about the house. I just think it would be so fun. And then we can hang the quilt in the shop, and it will just be a piece of all of us that went into just getting through all of this together. And really, you guys, like, we are here because we want to help you guys. And I know that it's tough to be home, and a lot of you guys live alone, and that's really hard right now. And, so we're a community, and I want us to be our own fun little community. This finishes at 5.5 by 7. Well, it doesn't finish. The unfinished block is 5.5 by 7. The pattern, like I said, is free. Jump on our website. In fact, I think Bonnie just posted a link to it. Download it and make us a house.
Make yourself a house.
Make yourself a house too. So, like I said, this project was designed to be charm pack friendly. The pattern itself calls for 8 charm packs because it's meant to get super scrappy. If you want it to be really consistent, you could do it with 2 layer cakes, or you could dive into those scrap bins and give it a go. But I will be showing you my mini on Thursday night. Yep, here. Any questions? I think it's going to be fun, and I hope you guys will indulge me and make your own little house to be part of our little JK Quilts.
Right, our little community, our little village.
So, that's going to be Thursday. And I will post about it. And for some more. Right. Always. I'm always posting out something, right?
It's kind of your job.
It really is kind of my job. To be on Facebook and Instagram. Right. Interesting.
You're like,
if I think it's funny, it's
my work.
I thought about it today, and then I was like, you know what? I was making my houses, and I was like, I want a house from everybody else.
All right. Okay, so there's my strap all nice and done. Okay, the next step, I'm gonna hand bind this, so I'm not gonna do it tonight.
You can hand finish it on the bottom.
You can totally hand finish it on the bottom, or there's enough there to totally machine finish it. Whichever you like to do. It just gives you a nice completed bottom. I'm going to leave mine undone at the moment because I'm a hand person, and I'm going to do it later. She wants to go home
and do it by hand.
Right.
Which is a
next step is the top binding, which I'm actually going to finish by machine. Gasp.
Don't tell. Straight is here. She'll know. I know. That's okay. It's okay. I still have to go finish machine binding my placemats.
Yeah.
I was busy making a village.
Right. That's why we don't finish anything. We're busy, like...
I'm always starting another...
Making a new
Christy,
project.
this is me. I'm always starting another project. And it's always another one.
I finished piecing my canning. Yes, you can today.
Did you?
It's all put together. It's here.
I did see that over there. I showed up right before we started, so I have no idea.
Super helpful. It's okay.
And I made the mistake of thinking I had time to go through a drive-thru and grab some dinner really fast. I was wrong.
Nope. So what are we doing Saturday? You want to tell them? Do you remember?
No.
You don't remember what we're doing Saturday?
No. What are we doing Saturday?
I don't remember either. I was counting on you.
You guys, I promise we're going to get our crap together on this and get an actual list out.
Listen, I came up with a list of like 10 things
You could totally make a table runner with the houses too. It would be adorable.
It would be way adorable.
Really, it's just a fun house pattern, and it's meant to be really scrappy, and you can assemble it in whatever way sounds like fun, but it would be a really fun table runner too.
I know one lady who's doing a house a day for while she's quarantined, and each one like is kind of like based on her mood. You know how people do a temperature quilt?
Yeah, so it's like, here's my purple day,
right?
Here's my green day,
right? So it's totally based
grumpy
on
day, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
today was good. Yesterday was not. Whatever.
No, so it's just it just seemed like it would be a lot of fun to me, and you know, you guys are helping us get through this, and we really appreciate you for all of that.
Right? Seriously, we have the best customers.
Oh,
the best. The best, the best, the best.
Seriously. Well, I'm so glad to see that you guys are excited, because that makes me
fun.
happy.
It's gonna be awesome. Christy's in.
And feel slightly less vulnerable about throwing my idea out there. So here, I think we can make a whole quilt. Let's see if anybody likes me enough to send me a block.
So they're like, I'm not sending you crap.
We're going to see how much people like me. That's what this is going to be. It could be really good or really bad.
Right, this is going to be like, oh my gosh, nobody likes me. Nobody likes me.
Oh, well. We'll survive.
We'll survive. We'll be fine. It's fine.
It's all fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
It might be a mini. No, just kidding.
Right.
It'll be fun. I'm excited.
It'll be great.
But yeah, if you make one, seriously, I want your name on it. And if you don't have a fabric pen, just we'll write your name on it. But right. I think it'll be a lot of fun to see. You know.
Simple fold-over binding. It's a nice French binding.
Pretty simple.
Pretty simple, right? Maybe I won't machine finish it. Maybe I will hand finish it.
Thanks, Sally. We love you too. Seriously, like,
the best.
I don't know how we ended up with such amazing people coming into the shop, but we
are lucky.
Yeah, there go Bonnie. Bonnie's an overachiever. She's gonna embroider names on it.
Yay! That's what I was thinking. It would be so fun to embroider your name on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a fabric pen and write my name. But yes,
I will embroider.
Jen will embroider.
Because I'm Jen, and that's what I do.
More handwork than necessary.
Right.
Thanks, Susie. You guys are super sweet. I love it.
Alright, so let's talk about how to put the handle on. If you're going to use a rivet tool, it's kind of awesome. So, where's my hammer?
You had a hammer?
I need a hammer. I had a hammer out here. Somebody took my hammer.
Who would take your hammer?
I don't know, but I need my hammer.
Well, work on your binding and I'll find your damn hammer.
Alright, you go find me a hammer.
Goodness.
Alright, so with the double cap rivets, you need, well, one of each type. One of the pieces is going to have, well, a longer end, and one is going to have a shorter end. Male, female. So, first thing you need to do, I need a hammer for.
Well, work on your binding.
Okay, I'll keep working on my binding. Yeah! Double cap rivets. They're awesome. They're actually way easier to put in and use than they seem. So don't be scared of them. Like, they're not bad at all. They were in the back room, but I thought I got one out because I already had to put 2 of these in today. Hammer, guys.
I think you're crazy.
It's possible. It's possible. I do have a tendency to lose my mind occasionally. Alright, so your first tool, so I have 2 males and 2 females right here. Let me move my other stuff out of the way. First, you can use this punch tool. If you're familiar with leather working at all, you've probably seen one of these. This is just going to poke a nice hole through the fabric and through the strapping so that I can fit the rivet through it. You really don't want to be jamming it through real hard and like ripping the fabric, because that might end up causing damage. You're going to end up ripping things, and we don't want to rip stuff. So you just use this tool and place it right there and hit it with a hammer. You're officially crazy. I can't find a hammer. Man alive. Oh, it's because it's right here. I covered it with fabric.
Seriously.
I knew I had a hammer.
I'm looking everywhere for a hammer.
I have it. It's right here. I got it. Oh, go through. It doesn't like this one.
Gotta get all the way through the fabric.
Well, we have it double folded right there. Ah, there we go.
Jen's making us shake some more in here, Vera.
Right. I missed the earthquake.
Oh, miss.
You don't want me to hit my hand?
No.
I haven't injured myself on this one yet.
Please stop.
Fine. No injuries tonight. Knock on wood. Is that wood?
MDF?
Yeah, it's out of a tree. So now I have a hole right there. You can do the same thing on the other side. I'm just kind of coming up inch-ish in the middle.
Right there. Right from the bottom.
So yeah, I like my ish measurements. Or rather, I prefer not to measure. Right?
She's eyeballing.
I eyeball. It's kind of how I cook. Right? There we go. Now we're getting through. One more. It'll be easier to go through that. It's way easier to go through the fabric and the
Don't do it on your
the
binding where
yeah, please
you put
don't
the
do
two
it
pieces
on
together.
your binding. Yeah, that's going to be like misery. Okay, so now I'm going to pick a spot for it on here. You can, center it on the side where your seam is. You can put it on the sides over here so that your seam is totally in the back.
As well if it's too close to that.
Right. So I'm probably going to put it on the sides right here so that my seam is in the center back of the basket. Okay, so again, it doesn't hurt to kind of pinch it, get an idea of where half is, because you really don't want to put this in where it's not really centered.
Especially if kids are going to use it.
Right. It's one thing for it to be a decoration. I have small children who will actually be using these. So, why I'm bothering to hand bind them, I don't know.
Because it makes you happy.
It makes me happy. Okay. So
she's going to do the same thing, poking the holes.
Right. After I pull my pin out that I just made. I'll turn to the side here. So, I have my pin right here that marks where that spot is. I'm just going to put my little tool there. And poke a hole. That was a lot easier.
That didn't have to go through webbing and fabric.
Tons easier. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pull my pin out of the way. And again, I'm coming down about an inch-ish. Not quite as through it as I'd like. Just trimming. There we go. All right. So in order to put this on, I'll take, I'm going to find my hole again. I'll take my male end and stick it from the outside. I'm going to stick it through the webbing, grab my female end, And I'm just gonna, you can hear a little click. It just pops on. That's enough to just hold it in place for now. It's not staying on there forever, but it's getting it there and out of my way. I'm gonna do the same thing over here on this side. Go through the male end, through the basket, through the webbing, and then just put this rivet here, a little pop, and that'll hold it. Now, you can't just use a hammer to finish these out. Unfortunately, what that'll do is kind of dent the rivets. And they're nice and rounded and cute like this. So if you have the little tool, it has this rounded little base to put it in. I'm going to set my rivet down inside that rounded area so that it's kind of stuck in there. And then I've got this little hammering guy, again, where it's rounded on that side. You'll see flat up here, rounded there. And put the rounded end on the other end of that rivet. Give it a couple good whacks. And it's definitely in place and it's going to stay there. If you really do mess up, you can take some pliers and work it apart. But yeah, it does take work. I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side. I almost put the wrong end down. Rounded side down.
Ooh. Chris, I love them.
Oh, Chris, they're pretty. We're seeing Chris's
she sent us pictures for placemats.
They're adorable. I love it.
Seriously, love it.
All right. So, here's my Easter basket unbound.
Top and bottom.
I've got some hand binding to do, but I love hand binding. And honestly, I can still hand bind. I'll just shove that down and hand stitch through that. So putting the handle on didn't
cause any problems.
Didn't cause me any problems. I can still finish this, no problem. But that's the Easter basket in a little nutshell.
Yep.
That's so cute, Chris. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We had fun.
So that's
the Easter basket
for tonight.
If you have questions, let us know.
Seriously, I forget what we're going to do Saturday. We'll have to remember, and then we'll let you know. Like I said, I'm going to try and put out a list with materials.
Right. So you guys can know well ahead of time in case you need anything to sew along. All of these videos are going to be uploaded. They're on Facebook, so you could watch them again. But we're also getting them uploaded to YouTube right now. So
our YouTube account.
Yeah. Sorry. So you should be able to watch them there. Well,
anyway, but Thursday, Scrappy Houses. We're going to work on our village. And like I said, if you want to make a nice, big, cute village, you can do it with 2 layer cakes.
We just got the home layer cakes.
Oh,
the at-home
by Bonnie and Camille. Also, we just got a few Last Bloom layer cakes in.
Oh, yeah.
That we have been waiting for.
Ooh,
so if
we also have a couple of early Abbey Rose layer cakes.
Ooh. Okay, if you haven't seen, Robin Pickens, if you follow her on Instagram, has been posting a few pictures of this village pattern. And she's been doing it in Abbey Rose. And
they're so pretty.
Gorgeous.
They're so pretty.
So pretty.
It's going to be awesome.
Almost as cute as my Tula waist. Just kidding.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't know. Anyway, but that's our plan Thursday night, and we'll talk about our JK Quilts Village Quilts a little bit more, and
yeah,
we'll see you Thursday. Sound
Thursday,
good? 7 o'clock.
We'll be
same
here.
Place.
Same time, same place. You can always watch it later, but if you want to, interact with us, it's at 7.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good. We'll see you then.
We'll see you then.
Maybe Jen won't lose things or do things.
I will try and be a little more.
Actually, I think I will be the one sewing next time, so we'll see how that goes.
That means I just get a